everyone, I am your astrologer Brittany with Horoscope.com. Here are 3 things you need to know in order to make today, Tuesday, January 29th, 2019, a success. Now the first thing I want to talk about is going to be right here where the moon is. Now the moon in this chart is in Sagittarius, but at the very, very beginning of the day, it's still going to be at the last degrees of Scorpio. When the moon's in Scorpio, very early this morning, it's going to bring our attention here to relationships, our deepest, most intimate relationships, also as well to our finances and perhaps making some changes in our life to just create a situation that we feel better in. Now what's going to happen early this morning, perhaps while many of us are sleeping, is that this moon in Scorpio is then going to make a trine over here to the North Node in Cancer and a sextile to the South Node in Capricorn. I do like this a lot, especially when we get trines and sextiles involved with the North Node. I think this is positive to help us start to understand better what we want, what we feel, what we desire, and how we can start to move towards and create things in our life that really just put ourselves at ease, that just make us feel more comfortable, especially with the North Node here in Cancer. So I think we're starting to understand more and more what we want, what we desire, and what we need to do in order to give those things to ourselves so that we can feel better. Now, a few hours after that, maybe now as we're just starting to get up and move around, this moon in Scorpio is then going to make a trine over here to Chiron at the last degree of Pisces. This could be a little bit of a challenge because whenever I think of Chiron, I think of difficult things, situations that are just a little bit uncomfortable, and Pisces emotionally coming up. But I am more optimistic about this alignment at this time than perhaps I would be otherwise. The reason why I am is because the moon just finished making this very pretty trine to the North Node, so we kind of have a little bit of like a kite alignment going on here at this time with Chiron, helping give Chiron a positive spin. Also, this is the last time Chiron will be in Pisces at the 29th degree for a while. So this is the last pass Chiron's going to make over this spot. And I think even if we are dealing with some uncomfortable things this morning as we're getting up, I do believe that we're finding new ways to cope. We're uncovering what we desire, what we really feel, so that we can start to move forward in different and better ways and maybe heal some of those emotions instead. So I do like what's happening there. Then a few hours later, as we're moving towards lunchtime, but not quite lunchtime yet, this moon then is going to leave Scorpio and move into Sagittarius, where you see it in this chart. This again is very, very positive. I like the sign of Sagittarius. To me, it's very optimistic, always brings exciting things, new things into your life, allows you to see things in different ways. And I think after we have this emotional moment where we're feeling maybe a little bit uncomfortable about some things that have happened to us from the past, and we're starting to understand our emotions and figure out what's going on inside us, I think then the day starts to come as we move to lunch and beyond a lot lighter, a lot more optimistic, a bit more adventurous, because we have done the deep soul searching that it is that we need to do and have gotten more of the understanding and the perspective on that. And because we did that, yeah, the rest of the day is going to be easier, more lighthearted, more fun. So I do like what is going on there, and that is the last alignment that the moon is going to make today. So that is my first point. Do the deep soul searching, figure out what you want, deal with your relationships and your finances in a very deep way, because if you can do that, and even if it requires you to face some things that feel a little bit uncomfortable for you, I think it's going to help you to get some insights about what you feel, do the things that you need to bring more emotional comfort and satisfaction to yourself, and then help you to lighten up the rest of the day and feel much more excited. Okay, now the second thing I want to talk about, perhaps what I'll do here is I'll go to Mercury conjunct the Sun still. There for a few days, the two of these planets have been dancing together a little bit. This is very positive. Mercury rules how we think and communicate. So this can give us positive conversations here with other people or with ourselves about where our life is going, about our future, about the life that we want to create. And I think the moon is helping us to figure out what we deeply want and desire, so that then the Mercury Sun can help us to engage the mind to figure out intellectually what that future is and how we can start to work towards a future in the right ways to get some of our emotional needs met. And I think this alignment, if you allow it to be, can be very inspiring, very exciting, helping you to see new possibilities and new frontiers, feeling much better perhaps than you have before. Another reason why I think that's going to be a possibility is number 3, my third point that I want to go to. What I want to talk about here is Saturn. Oh, there we go. Saturn in a sextile with Neptune. It's been like this for a few days, maybe even longer, and this is another very positive aspect. What this is helping us to do is to actually create the life of our dreams, to create a life that we feel comfortable in, we feel at peace in, that we feel whole in, to not just think about it and to not just figure out inside what we want, but to actually start to put the plans in place to make some of this stuff happen and to understand our emotional needs and to give our emotional needs what they need to feel better in the real world, in practicality. So I think this is very, very beautiful. We're starting to understand more and more as the days go on what we need to overcome outdated, outplayed stories in our life so that we can come into new stories that are better for us, more authentic, more true, and more what we need at this time. Does that mean that we aren't going to be still feeling uncertain, tumultuous inside? No. Mars is still going to be in a square with Pluto while all of this is going on. So there's still going to be some fears, some insecurities, some subconscious stuff you still have to work out, some things from the past you're still dealing with. But I think as the time goes on and the next month or two, we're getting closer and closer than we've ever been before to overcoming old things, stepping into new chapters, and feeling 100 times more peaceful and more positive about it, because we're starting to see what we need and actually move there, even if there's still some internal and subconscious stuff that we need to adjust and address before we fully see the light and go there. All right. So that is your daily planetary forecast for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you tomorrow.